Hey guys, did you know there was a book that combined Fight Club, William Gibson's cyberpunk aesthetic, and a super sentimental, guilty pleasure, but you can't get enough of it teen romance? Well, there is a book like that, and you already know it. It's called Divergent! Divergent is one of the many popular YA dystopias flooding the market right now. It ranks up there with the likes of The Hunger Games and The Maze Runner, but it differs in quite a few ways. The book takes place in a post-apocalyptic Chicago where society has been divided into 5 factions. The 5 factions each represent one human trait that they prize above all others. There's Erudite, the smart, Dauntless, the courageous, Amity, the kind, Candor, the honest, and finally, Abnegation, the selfless. Abnegation is, they're kind of the good guys in this book, but if I'm being honest, their faction kind of sucks. It's the faction no one chooses to be in, but it's where the story begins. And it begins with 16-year-old Beatrice, who lives in an abnegation household and has to decide whether or not she wants to continue living with her family or whether she wants to be a part of a different faction. So I'm not spoiling anything by telling you that Triss chooses a different faction, and that faction is Dauntless. It's this world's tripped up, subverted version of Gryffindor, gone totally corrupt, bonkers, and insane. The majority of the novel centers around the Dauntless training tests, which are basically these fighting tournaments amongst teenagers that just get totally out of control, with people coughing up blood and breaking arms and people getting stabbed in the eye. If you haven't read YA or teen fiction in a while, this to me is a great place to start. I hadn't read teen fiction in a while and I picked this up and I was completely blown away. I couldn't believe the intensity, the brutality and violence of this book. It's the kind of book that you have to kind of put down on your lap at moments and just have a breather because it's so intense. You're just like, oh my god, what is this book? What is happening in this book? I will say this is less of a criticism and more of an observation. The book seems much more comfortable with extreme violence than it does with even the most minor forms of sex or sexuality. You know, the climax of this novel, after pages and pages of kids just beating the crap out of each other, coughing up blood, killing themselves, jumping off of cliffs, is this question of whether or not Triss should sleep with this boy she likes. And it seems kind of funny when you put the two side by side, this extreme violence and this sort of conservative fear of sex and sexuality. Which, I mean, I'm kind of joking about it right now, but by the time I got to that point, I mean, I was fully in the novel. And I was just like, Triss, you know, be careful, you do you, just, you know, think it through. Don't do anything you don't want to do, Triss. Like, I'm with you either way. Just do you. Do you, Triss. One more thing I'll point out is that in the Dauntless training ground, they seem to just, like, casually get tattoos throughout the novel, like, all the time. It's just like, oh man, like, I don't know what to do today. What should I do? Let's get another tattoo. Which, like, I mean, I don't have any tattoos, but I assume they hurt. Like, I just don't understand how they can be just doing this all the time. They're so cavalier about it. But I think that's just the, you know, the Dauntless way. It's, you know, feel the courage, embrace the fear, do it. Lastly, I'll explain the title. Divergent stands for people who, when tested, fit into multiple factions. Triss is one of these, and the rest of the society is really suspicious of the Divergent people. I think this is supposed to be the sort of totalitarian, dystopian way of, like, you know, suppressing individual will and freedom of thought. But another way of looking at it is that basically you can be a kind, smart, peaceful person and still be a total badass. So I think that's a great message to send to children. So check it out, teens. This book is dope. So if you've read Divergent, please leave a comment below if you agree with me or disagree with me or just have something cool to say. If you like this video, please like it. And if you really like this video, please subscribe. Can't wait to hear from you guys. Talk soon. Until next time, happy reading.